All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for September 23rd. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing we have on our agenda are approval of our minutes. Gentlemen, do you have any additions or corrections?
I don't have any.
Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners from Montezuma County held on Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County for September 16th, 2025. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Nope. Okay, then we'll move right along to the Board of Equalization abatement hearings. 9 o'clock, do we have the first Cavalier?
She is on Zoom, Commissioner, and I'm not sure if you want her to use her camera or if you just want her to.
No, I do. Kind of a point that we've made everybody after our hijackings is that everybody has to turn on their cameras.
Yep, no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'm just looking for the audio video. Oh. Can you see me?
We cannot yet.
Okay, I don't see where I can turn on the video. Oh, I'm sorry. Down here on the other side. Got it. Okay. Well, let's do this.
There you go. So we will give you the opportunity to present your case first, and then we have the assessor in the room, and then she will present her case after you are completed. So with that, you are good to go.
I think I'll jump in here just
Okay,
quickly.
yeah, we're just asking for the
Cavalier.
2024 to be.
Could I, sorry,
Sure.
one thing I want to say before we get going. I did notice when we read the notice there that it says that the Board of Equalization abatement hearings, these hearings are actually in front of the Board of County Commissioners on the abatement petitions, but the procedure is like the hearings that we do in front of the Board of Equalizations. So this abatement petition, and all abatement petitions are really asking the Board of County Commissioners to review the assessment of taxes, but it's not quite the same thing as the hearings before the Board of Equalization. This is really about allegations that the taxes have been levied erroneously or illegally, and it's asking, essentially, abatement petition is a request for a refund of the taxes. And so procedurally, we're going to have this hearing. We need to provide the applicants with due process so everybody gets a chance to present their case. Each party has the opportunity to ask questions of the other party. And then if the commissioners grant the abatement petition in an amount of more than $10,000, that decision is going to be reviewed by a state body to make sure that the proper procedures were followed. If the decision of the Board of the County Commissioners is to deny the petition, that decision can be appealed to the Board of Assessment Appeals. So that's kind of our posture today. So I just wanted to lay that out kind of procedurally where we're at and what we're doing. So sorry for that interruption. Ms. Cavalier, please go ahead.
That's okay. And who is that speaking? Is that Travis?
Oh, I'm Stephen Tarnowski. I'm the county attorney.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, the equalization comment I got was out of a letter. So I think I was just being skinny. But okay, I got it, and we're nowhere near 10 grand. I think we're like about 900. So that shouldn't be a problem. And, yeah, we submitted the petition, just because in 2024, I'm not really sure what the cutoff is, but due to the long duration of getting everything unpurged again, it felt like, by the time we had it submitted, that we should have made the cutoff for the, what was due in 2025. So that's really what we're, petitioning the abatement is, so it really should be about $450 for 2024, and we paid $1,387. So we were just asking that 2024 be retro fitted to the unpurged, which we purged the property together. That got everything kind of crazy, so we went and unpurged it, and we got that information back to the assessor by July. So we were just asking that the 2024 taxes that were payable in 2025 that we already paid are retroactive to what they would have been had we not done the purge. And we undid the purge, they had the information by July. So
Okay.
that's really all we're asking for.
All right. Ms. Bug, the assessor?
So, the owners requested the purge 11/30 of 2023 for financing purposes, and we granted that purge after all the paperwork was finished, and that purge went through for the tax year for 2024. It was after our notices of determination and value changes had happened for 23, so we did go ahead and grant their purge for 2024. They did protest their value in 2024, and when I spoke with Cori during the protest period, I explained to her that the increase in her value was due to the purge because the property is now considered real property, no longer a mobile home and a real property account. They're combined together, valued as residential property. I gave her options for going back to unpurging and what that entailed and how the process worked at that time. And she said that she was going to start down that road. Her date of July was when we actually went out and did the VIN inspection to unpurge the property. We didn't receive the paperwork in our office to unpurge until 12/18 of 2024. Tax roll had actually already been completed for 2024. So taxes payable in 25 were already on the tax roll for 2024. So looking at her values for 2024, and if you were to grant the unpurged classification for 2024, her value is $123,357 for her land and $86,264 for her mobile home. So that would be a total of $1,166.47, a difference of $220.61 if the abatement request is granted.
But they're together now, right?
Where does the 1100 come from?
From your values,
No, they're unpurged.
Okay.
yeah. The value for the land is $123,357 without the mobile home on it, and the mobile home itself is valued at $86,264. That's our current value that we have on everything.
Well, that's fine. I'm not arguing the values. I'm arguing the timeline. It was really difficult to get through this process, and it was out of my own hand that we got through it. No, there were miscommunications on who had to get what paperwork. I had to go to the state because there's an issue with when you unpurge, there's a bond required. That was not required in our case, but that was all on me. So I guess the biggest crux here is that I had to really pursue the state, the assessor, the records, not so much the assessor, but the records and the state to get the unpurged through. And there were some hurdles that people didn't know about, certain documentation that had to be done. I ended up with the form from the state that neither the records department or the assessor had ever heard of before. And that was because when we purged, we owned the manufactured home. When we went to unpurge, there's lots of rules about if the manufactured home is abandoned, or if you're gonna be moving it, or if you purchased it, but we didn't, we owned it. So that was a little bit of a wrinkle in the, I don't know, business processes of going through the unpurged. And so it took like 5 months for me to get through that, and that's why we didn't submit until, December, when we had had them come out and do the evaluation of the VIN number in July. So had I been able to just whip it on through, we should have been done within July, but we weren't. We couldn't actually submit the records until, whatever that date was, December. I think it was around Thanksgiving that we were trying to get the final records done.
Yeah, we got
So that's really where my position comes from.
So if I understand this correctly, you're more upset about the process, not necessarily the combination of the two together, as which it currently sounds like at the assessment rate of the 6.7, they are still being utilized together. Is that correct? They're not, I understand you purged them and they're individualized, but collectively they're being used as a residential property together.
They're just, currently, they have a mobile home
Yep.
account, and they have a real property account for
Correct,
2025.
but they're all combined, living in the same property on the
Yes, it is on
same
the same property.
value.
The mobile home is,
So
yeah.
with that value, it's the 1387.
No, with the 1387 was with them being purged. Now
Okay.
with them being split, there's a 200 and
The 220.61.
220, yes, difference in the two if they're split out.
But the mobile home being set on the piece
So
of
the
property.
2024 was
being used as a real piece of
$450.
property. Correct?
But they are, yes, they are
Okay,
still,
all right, that's all I need to know.
okay.
Question?
I don't have any questions.
Well, I still don't know how the numbers are so different. 2024 it was $450. Or, sorry, 2023 it was $450. And then 2024, payable in 2025 jumped to $1,300 because of the purge. So now they're unpurged. And now suddenly there's this jump in value and they're not gonna go back to where they were.
Well, I mean, and I can go over the values. I don't have my computer with me right here, but I wrote them down before I came over. And the values of your property for 2024, which is the year you're requesting the abatement, your real property account, which is the land, the condemned house that we have valued at $16,000, and your utilities of $6,000 for your mobile home. Total value is $123,357. And then your mobile home is currently valued at $86,264, with them being separated. You do have to take into consideration there was the large increase in the Dolores School District mill levy. So that's going to change your taxes due for '24 from '23.
And I obviously don't have the breakdown. I have 2024 payable in 2025. So anything that's happened after that, I don't have that. Because you guys don't, the assessor doesn't send tax payment statements, except for when they're due.
We don't
So
have
I don't
tax
have
statements
any
at all.
other evaluations that have been done.
I
So
think
2023, do you have what we paid in 2023?
No, I don't have what you paid in 2023. Because that was before.
Well, that's the only thing that I have to base 2024 on. So that's where that number comes from.
Okay.
anything else? Ms. Cavalier, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. I do want to, remind everybody, and we've done this throughout the year, that with the current valuations, and specifically in Dolores in that school district, because of what the electorate elected to do to that district, it changed significantly, and I want to say that there are 92 mills now charged in that district. Is that correct?
That's in the town of Dolores, yes.
In the town of Dolores. So there's, not that this is there, but there are a lot of things that went up just due to what was on the ballots and the way people voted. So now they're actually getting assessed, and now you see the rise in a lot of the taxes. So there is a significant difference that a lot of people have since these valuations went out, have contacted us, and I don't think a lot of people truly understand that. So what I see here is that we do have a home on a piece of property being utilized as a residential piece of property. The assessment rate is up to 6.7, and I struggle to find any way to abate any of this due to the fact that that is really what it's being used as, to purge them, to separate them. I get that, but I guess we'll bring it to a vote. Gentlemen, what do you have?
Well, I'd like just to comment on one point there, and if it's the $200 we abate, that's fine, because I don't have access to those numbers. I'm a voter, I saw the stuff for Dolores, I get it, but I just want to make sure that y'all understand, when you purge and unpurge, it's a really big deal. It's not, oh, you're still living in the house. The value of your home increases to a stick built and not a manufactured home. That is a huge jump. It was $900. So I'm happy to deal with the Dolores, and the taxes went up and there were some other increases there. I get that. But the jump from $450 to $1387 over the purge, that was just the purge. That's what I'm discussing. So if the $200 that the assessor's just talking about, that the value, then we'll take the $200, because the purge is what did this, not the Dolores increase. That's not the same thing.
No, I think she said if granted, the abatement would be $220.61. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in other words, that's all the reduction is going to be, is the 220.61, if I understood you correctly.
That's fine, we'll take it.
It's not a $900 abatement at all. So,
No, that's fine. I'm saying we'll take the 200. I'm just saying that the Dolores increase and what happens when you purge and unpurge, those are two completely different
I understand that.
factors in the cost.
And Ms. Cavalier, at this point in the hearing,
So the abatement's 200, if that's what it is, that's great.
Ms. Cavalier, at this point in the hearing, the board is discussing the period to present evidence or make argument has closed at this point, and the board is discussing their decision.
I struggle abating any of it just due to the fact of the timelines and the dates. That's my.
I don't think we have any choice. You can't just pick and choose. Everybody has to pay the same.
Yeah. I would so move we deny the abatement.
My word.
So that's denied.
Denied, that's what the motion was.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded to deny the request for abatement for the Cavalier property. Can you scroll to the address, Travis? Located at 32560 Road P, Mancos, Colorado. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. It has been denied, Ms. Cavalier.
And Commissioners, that decision will be
Well, that's
made in writing.
fantastic.
And that'll be adopted at the next meeting of the board.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Where do they sign? Doesn't that third page? Oh, where they have to fill that out.
Third page, she said. My fingers won't work.
And there's a little bit that has to be filled out, so it's going to take some time
figure it out and fill it out.
Okay, we'll figure it out, Kim. All right, next up, the time has come for, it's past 9:15, so do we have Anthony or Marie Roan? Here? Nope. Online? Nope. Okay, do we proceed or?
Yeah, there's no requirement that the parties who file the petition for abatement attend the hearing. So I think the board should go ahead with the hearing. The board can look at the petition for abatement in considering, the claim they make, and then the assessor should have an opportunity to respond.
Okay, and just in full transparency, also, Ms. Roan did contact me specifically. I did have a conversation with her. I said that this was all done through the assessor and that she would have to take anything up with the assessor, and I did let the assessor know at that point in time. So just prior to this hearing, in full transparency, I have had a conversation with Ms. Roan, and then it was directed to Ms. Bug.
And I guess maybe we should have just inquired about they should have been provided notice of the hearing,
They were,
and they were. And can you just say how that happened?
the clerk mailed notices out well within the 7-day notice period for the hearing, and we assume they received it.
September 11th.
September 11th.
On
they
September
received
11th.
it. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
All right, go ahead.
So we were contacted by the Roans in March of 2025 after their tax bill was received. And at that time, they stated that they are living in a portion of the commercial building, and they would like to have a appraiser come out and do an assessment on that portion of the living space to reclassify them as a mixed-use commercial residential building. So our appraiser went out on 3/13/25 and decided at that time that the split would be at 80-20, 80 commercial, 20% residents going forward from 2025. They then turned in an abatement protest for 2024's taxes. I didn't speak with them. They just put it through the window, so I don't know what their whole intent was, but I'm assuming they would want that retroactive for 2024 also. Petitioner's estimate of value is a question mark for 2024, so I don't know for sure what they're wanting if they're not here to answer that. My request would be that we leave it the way it was for 2024 because the correction has been done in 2025 going forward after they contacted us about the change in classification. And that's all I really have.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
I think the correction's been made, and yeah. Okay.
Gerald, do you have anything?
No, if all those notices were sent and they were notified and everything, it's,
Yeah. Okay. I would so move, we deny the abatement request for Anthony and Marie Roan, P.O. Box 1290 Dolores, at the property located at 101 South Fifth Street, Dolores.
second.
It's been moved and seconded to deny the Rowan abatement located at 101 South Fifth Street, Dolores, Colorado. All those, any further discussion, sorry? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This has been denied. Thank you, Leslie. Anything else? That's it? All right, very
Thank
good.
you.
All right, public comment. The public comment portion of the agenda provides the public an opportunity to speak to the Board of Commissioners about issues that are not on the main agenda. Testimony relating to scheduled agenda items will not be allowed during public comment. Rules of decorum will be strictly enforced. Outbursts and interruptions from any person in the hearing room, including shouting, clapping, booing, laughing, or other reactions to the proceedings, are prohibited. Any comments from the public should only be made by persons who are residents of Montezuma County, who have been recognized by the chair, who are speaking into the microphone, and only after they have stated their name and address for the record. Each person will have 3 minutes to comment. No speaker may yield their part of their time, his or her time, to other speakers. Comments shall only be made to the board. No comments or questions shall be directed to staff or other members of the public. With that, the public comment session is open.
Good morning. Susan Chemnitz, 511 South Cedar Street. And I just wanted to comment on something that I just kind of heard. When the county is doing business, it would only seem right that when you send out a notice to someone in the mail, because our mail is very bad sometimes, that I think it should be like a certified notice or something so that you know they got it instead of assuming that they got it. Because that's happened to me before where somebody said they sent something and I never got it. So I've never heard of anyone doing business like that. So thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning, everyone. Alan Mays, 21693 County Road 21, Lewis, Colorado. A couple of things that I just want to bring up. On Friday, there was a couple of our representatives in town, Larry Don Sukla in Congressional House District 58, and lost the name all of a sudden. But anyway, the representative from District 60. And they were here speaking to the public. Notices were put out, and it wasn't a very good turnout. But I also thought with those kinds of representatives in town, my feeling is that there should be some presence of the county. I know we're all busy. I'm that way. So just wanted to mention that it was an update of the legislative session this last year, and I thought they did a pretty good job. You all know what that state legislature is doing to the counties, and those are things that I think are beneficial. And I know you would have had to public noticed if all of you would have been there, but sometimes it's just good to have some representation there. This Saturday, again, we're going to have a couple of people. Larry Don Sukla is going to be speaking, as well as Scott Bottoms, both State House representatives, and then also Sean Pond from Montrose. And I think those are opportunities. Again, it is an event that is the one on Saturday is being sponsored by the Republican women in Montezuma County, and so that may be something that you have to take into consideration. But it is something that the public needs to be aware of, and I just wanted to make that mentioned. The representative from District 60, Stephanie Luck, who I forgot her name, she is a very good representative, and I think that anytime we have those kinds of people in town, we should make an effort to try and be there. So thank you. That was my comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. All right, seeing no further public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we will go on with our consent agenda. In our consent agenda today, we have several bullet points, which were all discussed yesterday. The road and bridge paint striping, the Summit Food Service Management proposal, the decision related to lifting the fire ban, the MOCO bus fund transfer, a supplemental budget request resolution, OpenGov budget software contract, Colorado National Collaborative Suicide Prevention Grant signature, and a decision possible for a 3-year dispatch user agreement with the City of Cortez for our dispatch center. And with that, gentlemen, this just needs one motion, and if there is anything that any of you need to be pulled off to identify individually.
I guess, Commissioners, the only thing that I think we might want to talk about individually is the fire ban. Typically, we do that by resolution when we, implement or rescind the fire ban. I don't have one prepared for the board to sign right at this moment. But maybe we could take that out of the consent agenda and
Address it by resolution. Okay.
just maybe even just after the executive session. I just didn't bring up a hard copy to be signed.
Okay, that's fine. With that request, then we will remove bullet point number 3, the decision related to lifting the fire ban, but all others will apply to the consent agenda at this time. So with that,
I move to approve the consent agenda with the deletion of the decision related to the lifting of the fire ban as presented.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda with the removal of item number 3 to be brought back to the board later in this meeting. Is there any further discussion? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it is approved. With that, we have a few executive session items, but I think I'll go ahead and go down to the county attorney's report. We'll get all these reports out of the way, and then we'll jump into our executive sessions. So with that, county attorney.
Good morning, Commissioners. Over the past week, I've been working on a whole variety of issues still, working with planning. After that discussion yesterday, I think we're going to really try to do a quick review of those draft amendments to the land use code regarding the renewable energy development. We've got that moratorium that the board enacted expiring on October 15th. So I think we're going to really try to make a good faith effort to get something back to the board in an amount of time where it could still be possible to adopt some regulations before that moratorium expires. If we don't, then we'll have to have a conversation about extending the moratorium, if that's appropriate, and what that might look like. That would require another public hearing, similar to how the procedure that we went through when we adopted the moratorium originally. I did get yet another notice of claim in the mail on Friday last week, again related to the incident in March, the big traffic accident out there on 491. So that's the third notice of claim around that incident. As far as I know, that's all the other vehicles that were involved, so that should be the end of it. As far as the notices and the number of those notices, at this point, essentially that's a procedural step that plaintiffs have to make when they are intending to sue a public body such as the board. So that's where we're at. We haven't gotten any complaints yet, but given we got the notices, I would expect that would be the next step. I did also just want to update the board. One of our civil cases relating to a land use action that the board denied a subdivision request from Ellis Lewis. My office had filed a motion to dismiss, and that was just granted by a formal court order towards the end of last week. So that should be the resolution of that action as well. This week, we've got some more court appearances than we've had over the last few weeks. So our assistant county attorney is going to be handling those tomorrow and on Friday. I think he's doing really well, getting his feet underneath him basically. and then also moving forwards too, we've got a little bit of a busier period again on that front with all the different child protection issues here over the next 2 or 3 weeks after a little bit of a lull. That's kind of where things stand on my end. Do you have any questions about any of those topics?
No.
I don't have any questions on those topics, but we did ask, or I specifically asked, I think, were you able to meet with planning to start moving forward some more of the urgent land use concerns that we need to get cleaned up and addressed? I think that was my only request.
Yeah.
Now
So-
that we do have the staffing, and if we're caught up or getting caught up, because I know that we had a list and we had backed off of that list specifically to address some of the more urgent land use concerns.
Yeah, I would say I've raised it with planning. We've not really taken any concrete steps to move towards enforcement on any of those topics. Again, while for me and the workload in my office, I think Gus has been here for about a month, so we're still I'm still spending a lot of time essentially, making sure that we're doing everything we need to be doing on that front. So that's sort of getting to a point where I think we're ready to move in that direction. But the update that I have for the board today is we've not taken any specific steps towards enforcement on those issues yet.
And then lastly, I think, actually, this is not a question for you, but it's more for the board. It's been a couple of years. Maybe we can get with public health again to see if we can do another tire cleanup day. I know that the last time we did that, we collected over 30,000 tires, which cleans up the county. And we did that through CDPHE. So that might be something, Travis, just to address with public health and see if we can't get something like that going again. Because it's been a while since we've done that.
And that's something that I would support, just kind of conceptually as we think about trying to move towards cleaning the county up. I know for other purposes, I was recently reviewing the comprehensive land use plan for the county, and there's a lot of language in there about, trying to work with people in the county on a voluntary basis through those types of initiatives. That's kind of on the books as the part of the way that the county kind of historically has envisioned making those efforts to get things cleaned up in the county. So I think especially as we think about maybe ramping up some of that enforcement, that it would be great to help our landowners and our property owners here in the county, work with us through those kinds of initiatives.
And 2 years ago, we budgeted, it was a great suggestion from Commissioner Copenhaver, to actually give out vouchers, and it wasn't just tires, it was for any kind of debris that would go to the landfill, just to try and help people, especially if they didn't have the financial ability to get them down there. We could still get the properties cleaned up with their help, and we would waive those fees with the vouchers. So just something to be thinking about, and Travis will check with public health, because I know they were very instrumental in getting that grant to help with that. And it's something we should be thinking about, in my opinion, for the springtime anyway. Okay. Is that it? Travis, you're next.
Commissioners, last week I dealt with driveway access off County Road N, worked with Road and Bridge and planning. We had a fiber cut from Clear Networks at Road and Bridge that kind of shut them down for a little bit, but we was able to get them back up with Starlink. Let's see, we're working with Enterprise, had some Zoom meetings with them on our fleet management software. Hopefully that's going to help improve efficiency and effectiveness of our fleet. Attended a dispatch accountability meeting last week with Commissioner Lindsay. Appears our costs are going to increase for our cost share about $60,000, so this year it'd be $396,000. Addressed the Highway 184, County Road 25 project with Road and Bridge last week. We're still working through that process. I think Commissioner Candelaria and I were kind of jaw dropped when we got some information. So we're working through that. And addressed some collective bargaining issues with our attorneys. We're still working through that process. Had some budget reviews last week for about 5-6 hours last Friday. Worked through that. We're still trying to figure out a good budget proposal, so we don't have final numbers yet, but we will have that to the commissioners. I also have August payables. The August payables are a total of $3,705,657.16.
I would so move we approve August payables in the amount of $3,705,657.16.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the payables for Montezuma County for the month of August in the amount of $3,705,657.16. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
And then,
approved.
real quick, Commissioners, lastly, I got a CCI notification yesterday afternoon. We need declaration of designees for the legislative committees. Currently, it is Commissioner Candelaria is the primary, and I believe Commissioner Lindsay is secondary. We have to have this back to him quickly. Obviously, legislative session is starting up and going to kick off, so I'm not sure if you gentlemen want to change that, if you want to leave it the same, but I need to get this back to him as soon as possible.
I was not at that summer meeting. Well, actually, I was at that summer
Yeah,
meeting.
you
They didn't even bring that up then. They typically bring it up at that
Yeah.
point in time. So it doesn't matter to me. If you guys want to change it up, that's fine. If you want to keep it the same, that's fine.
Let's just keep it the same.
Okay, we'll sign that and send it up.
You
Sounds
need a
good.
motion?
No, I mean, this is just
Just-
administrative. I just want to make
Okay.
sure that you guys are good with the way the committees are set. And that is it, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim? Nothing? All right, Commissioner Lindsay?
Not too much to report. City Council meets tonight, and I did attend the Energy Summit with the Republican Party last night, and that's Region 9's on Thursday, and that's about all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Copenager?
Yeah, I don't have much to report this week. We are, just to inform people, Southwest Water Conservation District meeting will be in Mancus in October, the 9th. I'll get a better location and time for you, but it's going to be all day on the 9th. The meeting, there will be a tour the day before. That hasn't been completely set up yet, but they're probably going to, trying to get them to look at the 2 washouts we had up at Groundhog on our beaver ditch that they help fund some of the repair on, and our reconstruction out at Narragansett, where we had the leak in the dam there. It's probably going to be part of our tour the day before that, just to look at some of the projects that are going on around our county, since they're having the meeting in our county this next month. So if anybody's interested in attending, I'll have a definite time and place where they're going to have it next week. But it'll be on the 9th, on Thursday the 9th. And that's about all I've got.
All right. I did attend the summit last night, the Energy Summit, with all 3 commissioners. It's, a comment was made in public comment today that it seems like turnout is not good, but it seems like turnout is not good anywhere. It doesn't matter how much you advertise it, what you do, whether it's social media, wherever you put it. It seems like it's not received, and I don't know how we get the message out any farther. This commission has been extremely aggressive as far as trying to be with public outreach as far as our Coffee with the County, our traveling town halls, besides our regular board meetings. But we continue to try and do outreach, but we can't, we can lead the horse to water, but we can't make him drink. So I would kind of echo that. If there's something that you're interested in, please get to the meeting so that you actually have the information and you have it firsthand instead of reading it on social media, because that is just a demon's platform and you are probably going to get misinformation or bad information. So I'll leave that at that. We did have our workshop yesterday. We discussed in depth all of the issues that we brought forth today in our consent agenda. Most of my week was spent on budget items. Again, like Mr. Anderson stated, we spent wrestling with the budget for 4 to 5 hours on Friday trying to figure out all of the asks to actually what we have for revenue. So more to come on that because we didn't quite get there yet, but we will be working towards that. And other than that, that is all that I have. So Mr. Tarnowski, we are ready for your executive sessions. Oh,
What,
sorry.
now, what are we going to do on the fire ban?
We'll bring it forward after the executive sessions when he
Okay.
has the resolution to present to us.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure we.
Yeah,
But I can tell you from our discussion yesterday, we will more than likely be lifting the fire ban at 6 a.m. on Wednesday to give enough notice that people and the sheriff doesn't start submitting fines if you're caught burning. That way there is a notification for everybody out there. So if you guys hear of it, please talk to your friends and neighbors and let them know that that is the truth. They can actually view the videos today to see that it is the truth. And if the conditions change in the weather, that we will put the fire restriction and the fire ban back on. We do have that flexibility and latitude within our board making decisions, so.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have a couple items that I would like to discuss with the board in executive session. So I would recommend that the board move to go into executive session for two purposes today. The first is an executive session for purposes of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators for collective bargaining with the FOP pursuant to CRS 246402E1. Present would be the board, myself, Administrator Anderson, and the clerk. And then also an executive session for legal advice from the attorney relating to a legal issue relating to our outside counsel in those negotiations, and that would be pursuant to 246402B. That portion of the executive session will not be recorded because it is for purposes of receiving legal advice, but we will be keeping a record of our executive session that I read first under that other provision of the statute.
Okay.
So move we go into executive session pursuant to the codes as stated.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to enter into executive session for the purpose of determining positions related to matters that may be subject to negotiations pursuant under 24-6402, parentheses E, parentheses I. Included in there will be the clerk, Ms. Purcell, Commissioner Copenhaver, Candelaria, and Lindsay, Attorney Tarnowski, and Administrator Anderson. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And just a quick reminder, Coffee with the County is next Monday at 10 o'clock.
Spread the word. It'd be nice to see this boardroom full.
Ready? So move, we come out of executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to exit executive session and resume our regularly scheduled meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, in front of us next, that was pulled off the consent agenda, is the decision related to the lifting the fire ban, and I think our attorney does have the resolution ready. So with that.
So this would be resolution number 19. Commissioner, this is a resolution that I drafted up because I didn't circulate it previously. I'd like to just go ahead and read it, see if we're all on board with the language. So what I've drafted is a resolution lifting the ban on open fires and the use of fireworks, whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Montezuma County, State of Colorado, based upon competent evidence, finds that the danger of forest and grass fires has decreased throughout the unincorporated areas of Montezuma County due to recent precipitation in the area, lower temperatures, and increased relative humidity. Therefore, it is no longer necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare through a fire ban under Montezuma County Ordinance Number 2, 2015, and as enacted by Resolution 8, 2025. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Montezuma County as follows, that the ban on open fires and the use of fireworks is lifted, and such activities are no longer prohibited effective 9 a.m. on September 24th, 2025. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution is hereby effective September 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m., adopted this day of September.
Okay.
I would so move, we adopt resolution number 19, 2025, a resolution lifting the ban on open fires and the use of fireworks in Montezuma County.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 19, 2025, a resolution lifting the ban of open fires and the use of fireworks in Montezuma County. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, we have come to the end of our meeting, gentlemen.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn this September 23rd, 2025 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.